So we'll start with the session now. A very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our talk session, Wild Clicks, Photo Stories from the Wild with Mr. Das on the occasion of World Photography Day by Photobug in collaboration with Envisage, the environmental society of our college. So, before we go any further, we would like to start with an environmental message. All of us are very aware of the existing environmental problems around us, the extent to which the resources have been exploited, and the amount of pollution that surrounds us all. Team Envisage and Team Photobug urges everyone to inculcate these 5 hours in their day to day lives. It is very important that we, the youth today, act in a responsible manner in order to conserve our environment. And these 5 hours, reuse, recycle, reduce, refuse, and recover, are the 5 basic principles that we need to follow in our lives. So moving on with the session, I now request Surbani and Gaurang to present a presentation filled with historical and informative facts on the occasion of Wildlife Photography Day.
So yeah, when Ashish spoke to me, when he asked me about the session and all, he asked me to interact with you people again, like with the new normal, like sitting in front of my computer here in Kerala and talking to my computer is a bit kind of like it's not like what we do normally, like personally coming there or interacting with people or students and all. So yeah, I'll try to make it as interactive as possible. And if you have any questions, like again, a request to the organizers, we don't have to wait till the end of the program. I'll be showing some of my photographs and I'll be sharing my experience, like how I got the image or whatever about the experience of the travel or making that image and all those things. So if you have anything in between, that'll be great, because like an interaction is always better than me just talking to my computer. I mean, technically it's not like that, but again, yeah. So I'll share my screen. Before that, like I would like to share my experience on how I ended up taking, or how I ended up doing photography. So while I was doing my graduation, like I'm a BSc zoology graduate, and while I was doing my graduation, I was interested in animals in general. I'm sure like everyone is interested in animals, and or at least everyone will love to keep a pet. And I was very fond of pets, but my father, he believes in Gandhism, Buddhism, and all this like simple stuff. So according to his concept, he says that like we shouldn't be caging or keeping animals. It is against their freedom. So he kind of like, it was not forcibly done, but he kind of persuaded me. He kind of pushed me not to keep any pets. But yeah, at some point, like your urge will come out, and at some point, I got a fish tank, and I had some pets, like which was fishes. And like while I was doing my graduation, I was interested in birds. I used to get to go for this bird surveys. I'm sure you all are familiar with it. Surveys done by the forest department in forest areas. They call for volunteers. So we go there as volunteers. We survey for them. And where I studied, it's a college which is close to kind of backwater kind of place, and that place has a lot of birds, migratory birds, coming from different parts of the world during the migratory seasons, so starting from September to March. And after college or before college, me and my friend, we used to go there, we used to watch birds, and then we slowly started posting like sightings in like bird forums. At that time, there was no Facebook, nothing. There was this Yahoo groups. There was a group called Kerala Birder. We started posting observations of birds. So like two kids or two students coming and saying that they say this migratory bird, that migratory bird, rare one. So at some point, many of these experts are like, "What is the proof? How do we make sure that you guys saw it? Or it might be a rare bird, or it might be a bird that is similar to a common bird." So that's when this idea struck me, and I've been seeing pictures, photographs of people like. Uh, there is a photographer, like nature photographer from Kerala, his name is Praveen P. Mohandas. He's more into the artistic, creative nature photography style, not the conventional style, but he's different. I had seen his pictures, I had seen his photographs. So I went to him. So I met him and I told him, like, see, this is the point. We are watching birds and we want to like learn scientifically. And when I tell that I saw this bird, like flying away, or I saw this bird eating this bird, blah blah blah. And I want to record it. I want proof. So he suggested some cameras. So and that's how I slowly like I started photographing like landscape, nature, wildlife, waterfalls, mammals, birds, a lot of things. And yeah, like in but from 2010 onwards, I started working on frogs and snakes and reptiles. So they all fascinated me. So I see a camera or a photograph or a photographer as a tool to convey about these nature and natural beauties to the fellow people around us. So back then in 2005 or 2010 and all, like when I took up photography, when I took up photography along with my research and all, like very few people were in the field. But now it's not the case. Like your presentation said, more than 1 trillion photograph is being taken in a year, or like more than 1, 2, 3 billion photographs are taken a day. There are mobile cameras, there are DSLR cameras, everywhere we have cameras. And like the selfie phase came up. So everyone's fond of taking pictures, be it your picture, your family's picture, your nature, like nature around us, everything. So we all love recording that moment. We all love freezing that moment and showing it to others. So if you look at this image, this is a purple frog pair. They live underground. They come out only for a day to breed. They lay eggs and they go underground again. So it's like a rare phenomenon. So this is more kind of a document photograph or scientific record. So in this photograph, what happens is that toad, you're all familiar with this toad, I'm sure. It's a common Indian toad. It's called Ditaphragmus melanostrictus. So this toad is actually trying to mate with the purple frog. So toads normally they are very aggressive breeders, and as you all know, amphibians they have a very short window to breed, to produce their young ones, and that period they are very aggressive, and these toads will try to mate with anything that come across with them when they are in that breeding frenzy. So in this, if you look at this picture, natural history wise, it has got a lot of elements in it. So it shows the behavior of the toad where it is trying to mate with a different species. It shows the behavior of the purple frog, where it is going to lay its eggs. And those eggs in that photograph, it is actually the eggs of the toad, and the purple frog pair just got entangled in it. So yeah, this in yeah, like it didn't get through the finals. It was chosen as one of the finalists. So that's about that one particular picture. Again, we had spent long years. We've been working on this particular frog since 2011, and all the years of experience really help us in identifying or like locating where they are and getting the perfect frame or understanding their natural history and all. Yeah, so I'll just randomly show some photographs and talk about it. In between, there was another question. What do you say patience is the most crucial trait for wildlife photography? I'll answer that question with one photograph. What is the importance of photography in wildlife conservation? Like I said, see the photography, nature photography or wildlife photography is one tool towards conservation. It's not the only tool. It is one tool towards conservation. We can use these images to create interest among the public. Like I said initially, when we talk to the policymakers, when we go and interact with the people who make laws, and we want to conserve one species, or we want to conserve one protected area, or we want to establish one protected area, we have to convince them that this needs to be protected because of their endangerment or because of their evolutionary values or even aesthetic value. So recently there had been a movement in Kerala, like I heard there are some people from Kerala. There is a proposed plan to build a dam in a place called Adirapalli. Adirapalli is a waterfall. It's one of the biggest waterfall in Kerala. It's a biggest tourist attraction. So that area is very rich in terms of biodiversity. At the same time, one of the slogans that were raised against this project is that we need to prevent the dam to protect the beauty of that waterfall, to save that waterfall. So aesthetic value is something we shouldn't forget about. So in all those senses, wildlife photography is helping in conservation in several ways. But at the same time, there are several demerits to it. Like somebody just like we just taking a photograph and not talking about it or not spreading awareness about it is not nice. Again, just photographing the wildlife or just photographing the nature is alone is not going to conserve the species. So it is one tool that should be combined with all these policy making, interaction, awareness building, raising the profile of the species or the protected area and all. So yeah, this is a group of a herd of elephants, and that big one is the matriarch, who's the lead of the herd. So this is again in a place called Periyar Tiger Reserve, and we were working there. We were looking for one particular frog. Nights we survey for frogs and reptiles, and mornings we'll just walk around and see how the habitat is. So that morning we were in front of the camp and we heard a call, like call of the baby elephant, a calf, and we saw this herd and we followed them like in a safe distance again for like the whole day, and we saw like very beautiful moments. We spent some beautiful moments with them. This was just before the sunset, not the sunset, just before the sunrise. It was raining and the light was coming like a plane, like as it is seen in this picture. This is from the same herd. And again, there also I thought I could have increased the light and I could have portrayed it. So but I felt like this looks more unique when it's like a silhouette, and when it's like a frame with the shapes of the elephant walking. So this keeps the whole picture of how small the elephants are in that landscape. At the same time, movement, family, lot of emotions, lot of you can derive a lot of things from it. It's like an art. Does artistic elements, okay. And so what is the importance of photo? Okay, how do you manage both your academic work and photography as a hobby? So yeah, and I'll show us another picture. This is one base camp where I had worked for a long time, like for more than 3-4 years. And like we go to this camp every like every 2 to 3 months interval. So as you can see, this is one of the most beautiful place. When we work in the field, like we have to work in the field, we have to collect data and all. And like I said, like at night time we follow frogs, reptiles and all, we collect data and all the time. And mornings we spend time to explore the places, to understand the habitat, to understand the ecosystem. So I don't think it's a trouble to do both when you are in the field, because since you love it, you are in the academics and you love to work on the frogs. You do it at the same time. You are in the field, and you are always in the field, and you are seeing all these like beautiful stuffs in the forest, all these animals, and you have to show it to the people outside who don't have a chance to see all this. And yeah, that's again the perk of being a researcher or a wildlifer. So yeah, like both of us, like Ashish, Robin, we all have traveled together. These are some of the awesome places that we have been to, where we get to stay. So yeah, this is another photograph. This is actually South India's highest peak, called Anamudi, 2,695 meters, and maybe less than 10 people have camped on top of it. And like I got lucky to be one among them. So we worked on one particular frog species over there, and we got to spend a lot of time on that mountain and see like very beautiful sunrises. So these all, again, as an answer to the question, we'll get to do both, like photography and academic work. If you love them both, you'll definitely have time to do it. It's not as difficult as we think. Once you start doing it, it comes as a flow. It was so close that like I had photographs with its face in out of focus because the bear was in minimum focus distance. It was a 300 lens. It was not a big lens, it was a small lens. And then I realized, okay, fine, you screwed. You're screwed, Sandeep. Stand up and run. That was my mind. My mind was telling me that, but I was literally in a shock. I couldn't run. But what happened is, might be my camera, my posture, and everything. It also startled the bear. And my tracker, he was standing like 3 meters behind me. He stood up. Then he realized, the bear also realized, oh, something is moving. He might have seen me as a danger, and took 2 steps behind. When he took 2 steps behind, I got scared and I ran away. Fortunately, it didn't attack me. But normally, like I had been in field, I've been working in this elephant tiger field landscape for a long time, and they never attacked us in any way. If we respect them, if we give them their space, and if we're not going to harm them or if we're not going to disturb them, they'll just like live their life. They don't bother you at all. That is what I feel, and that is what I have understood over these years in the field.
Thank you so much, sir. The session was really informative and interesting as well. And I request everybody, all the audience, to please fill the feedback form. It has already been posted in the chat box. And now I request our mentor, Dr. Ashish Thomas, sir, to please speak a few words on this occasion.
Thank you, Sandeep, first of all, for accepting the invitation. He said patience is a key to photography, and I've been patiently behind him for the last 1 year to take a session with Photobug. So that's my part of patience with Sandeep. But he was indeed quite busy with his PhD thesis submission, and also a lot of other field work that he usually remains busy in. And so I'm really thankful, first of all, for that you took out time. And even now he's in the field. Fortunately, he has this Wi-Fi connection, and otherwise we could not been able to do this session today. So thank you for coming and accepting the invitation, first of all, and thank you for sharing so many experiences with us. I think wildlife photography is more about experiences. It's a lot about improvising. It's a lot about being in the moment, enjoying, and also having so many perspectives. And Sandeep has shared so many secrets of how you can actually, if somebody is interested in wildlife photography, you can, how you can improve yourself by following other photographers and trying out various things in your home or outside, and constantly try to motivate yourself and constantly try to better yourself each time. So that was very inspirational, and I hope that so many Photobug members are there, so many photography enthusiasts are there in this session. I hope that I really believe that many of us would be inspired by what you have shared, your wonderful moments that you have spent in the field. And I have experienced it firsthand when I have been with you in the field, how hardworking you have been all throughout. And I really admire the way you think and envision each of your photograph. There's a lot of homework that is done. There's a lot of preparation that is done. At times it is on the spot, but the mind is constantly working. So that is something I really admire about Sandeep. And last 3 years, I have not been able to meet him. Robin also, I think, would agree to that. And I really hope that the COVID situation normalizes soon. And especially the Photobug team. Photobug cannot sit at home and do photography. We need to be out in the field or outside somewhere. So I hope things normalize soon, and all of us can spend more time in our respective hobbies, and whichever kind of photography that you think that you wish to do, we need to do that also. So thank you, Sandeep. Thank you to many of the faculty members who have joined. Thank you to the faculty from other colleges who have joined. Thank you to ex Photobug members, current members, Envisage, our Eco Club, and I believe that this is a great start to this session of ours, and let's just enjoy the whole process of photography as we have been doing till now. So thank you very much, Sandeep. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ashish and college and all the students who have been here, everyone who listened to them. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, like I'm expecting you guys both soon.
Yeah, and you can follow him on Instagram and Facebook. He's very active. You can send friend request to him, and he's always happy to answer your queries at any point of time. That's a good part of Sandeep.
Thank you,
All right.
Ashish sir. Before we end today's session, on behalf of Team Photobug and Team Envisage, I'd like to thank Sandeep sir for taking out time to be a part of this session and enlightening us with his immense knowledge, experience in the field of wildlife photography. I think each one of us have learned something new about photography and nature through this session, and we really hope you keep inspiring people the way you have inspired us today. Also, a big thank you to all those who have participated in this session. We appreciate you, and we request you to all fill the feedback form provided in the chat box before you leave. Thank you so much, guys.